Hey, welcome to Five Lakes Garage, the home of random projects. We have lists, we have Jeeps, we have trucks, we have food. You name it, we got it. So help out the channel by just hitting that subscribe button. And if you like the video, go ahead and like it. And if you really like the video, like it and then tell a friend. But stay tuned, enjoy yourself. I'm gonna let you go because I got stuff to do. Welcome back to Five Lakes Garage, and we are not in the garage once again because we're cooking. Haven't done a cooking video in quite a long time. Tell you a really quick story. This past weekend we went camping with the Scouts, the Boy Scouts. And we went out there and we had a couple of hot meals. We had goulash, which I'll post it somewhere around there. You can pick that up. That actually turned out fantastic. The boys cooked it. Awesome. The other one was actually a mountain man. Now, before we left, I wanted to send a video to all of my scouts to say, hey, this is what you're going to be cooking so that you have a better idea of exactly what we're going to have. And I didn't have one for mountain man. How can you not have a video about mountain man? That is like the quintessential camping Dutch oven breakfast that my camera dude Corbin loves it. So these are the things you're going to need to actually make a mountain man. All right, first thing you're going to need, because you're going to be out in the woods. Yeah, look, I'm in the woods. Yeah. Okay, so if you're out in the woods, you're going to need a Dutch oven. So this is a 12-inch Dutch oven. I've had it for years, used it on plenty of dishes, and it is well seasoned and good to go. If you want to learn how to season your Dutch oven or your cast iron, I'll put the link somewhere around there. You can actually check that one out as well. It works pretty good. So anyway, we're going to need charcoal. So we have a bag of charcoal. We're just going to use some Kingston. Like I said in some of the other videos, I don't really like to use matchlight because the chemicals itself will actually get into your Dutch oven. Don't really want to do that. This stuff here actually lights really well. Also, I'm going to have some tin foil, and what I'm going to use the tin foil on. Some other videos I had a big tray that I had for my hot water tank. Well, I don't have that with me today, so we're going to use tin foil because tin foil is basically what you're going to use anyway. Carrying around that big tub is kind of a pain in the butt, I have to say. So anyway, got some tin foil. I've got to lift up the lid, so I got myself my little lid lifter. We got to move around the coals, so I got my big tongs. Basically, they're just grill tongs. And of course, I got Righty. Righty is a welding glove. My buddy Mr. Scott has Lefty, so I got Righty. He's got Lefty. You only really need one. So anyway. And also, one other thing that I've started to use here lately that's actually helped out dramatically when it comes to cooking with charcoal. A little camping stove. Now, usually what you want to do is you take your chimney that I already got full of coals. Oh, you need a chimney too. You put a fire underneath. Eventually, it will start burning. But there's a quicker way. If you're already camping and you're trunk camping, so if you're bringing your Dutch oven, you're pretty much trunk camping or glamping if you really want to put it that way. And you will probably have all this stuff in the back of the truck, so you're probably going to have your camping stove. So we're going to get these coals going. With the camping stove. Then I'm going to run inside and I'm going to grab all the ingredients that you're going to need for an awesome mountain man breakfast. All right, just going to leave it over the open flame. It's actually going to come up and start this burning, and then it'll be started before you know it. But it's going to take a few minutes. I'll be right back. All right, so it's only been about enough time for me to get from this table inside, grab me the ingredients, and come back out. And look, it's already smoky, and that's going to be lit really quick. Now, for a mountain man breakfast, there are only really 4 key ingredients. You can add whatever you want, but these are the 4 ingredients that you really need to have. First thing you need is some sausage. Now, I typically get the hot sausage because there's so much other stuff that's in here that's actually going to blend it in. It's not that hot, but it'll give it a little extra bite, and it works out pretty well. Grab yourself some hot sausage. Next thing you're going to need Hash browns. Just grab yourself a bag of hash browns. If you keep it frozen, it actually cooks better. If you were to go ahead and let this thaw out, like you have it on maybe day 2 or something like that, and it thaws out, you know, day 2 of a camping endeavor, it actually turns into a little bit more of a mush. So I'm going to show you some tricks to be able to stir it up in your Dutch oven in order not to make it mush, but if it's not frozen, it does get a little bit mushy. So just go ahead and get it as cold as possible, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Also, what you're going to need is eggs. Now, if you're out there on the camp, actually this tub right here is it works really well. They're already cracked. You don't have to worry about the waste of eggshells. You don't have to worry about cracking every single last one of them or even mixing it up. You just pour it on top. For a 12-inch Dutch oven, I think about 7 or 8 eggs works out great. So if you look on the box over here, it says 14 eggs. So I'm not going to use the whole thing, maybe only half, so that I can make 2 of these. Also, once you're actually done, you can rinse it out and use the carton for something else. Whole water if you want. Anyway, to top things off, you absolutely have to have cheese. Cheese is the key ingredient. Anything with cheese is good. Usually. Okay. All right, so once this is started completely, I'm going to put it on the Dutch oven, and then we're going to put it down here on the bricks and get it going. So give me a few minutes. All right, so we got our coals, and they're nice and toasty. I do have a bunch of black ones on top, and we got some nice and hot ones underneath. And what we're going to do is pour it all the way out, and then put all the black ones back into the tub so it'll actually get going, because we're not going to need those until after we put all of our stuff in there so we can put it on top. So the first thing you want to do is actually spread out your coals and pull out all the ones that still need a little bit more cooking. Put that back into your chimney to get those going. So let's do that now. Where are my tongs? Now the main reason why I'm using tin foil on the bottom is just so that I don't mess up my bricks. And also if you're out there in the woods, you don't mess up the ground, because we're trying not to leave a trace. And always cook in designated areas. Since this is our house, this is my designated area, at least for today. Okay, we're going to spread those out just a little bit. Now we get to put our Dutch oven right on top. There we go. All right. So this actually is going to get hot really quick. So now we need to put in our sausage. All right, one thing about a Dutch oven, I always like to use a metal spatula. Main reason, plastic ones melt. This thing is not going to get that hot in order to melt metal. All right, so we're still cooking up our sausage. Now my coals got pretty nice and started. Oops, get them all. All right, I'm gonna use my tongs. We're gonna leave that up top. And what we're gonna do is actually gonna leave a lot more coals on top than we are at the bottom. Reason for that is that when you're cooking the sausage, okay, it's gonna cook really fast. But once we turn those hash browns in there, if the bottom is too hot, all you're gonna do is burn them. We don't wanna burn them, we wanna crisp them. And actually, hopefully your sausage has enough grease in it to actually add the flavor and also keep the hash browns from sticking. Oh, wrong utensil. All right. Another tip, do not leave your handle inside your Dutch oven because it's made out of metal. And if you leave it up there, it's going to get so hot you're not going to think about it. Grab it, and then that indentation or that imprint will be put right into your hand. And then you're going to be branded. I don't know, I guess it won't be too bad. Branded the Dutch Oven King. We all have dreams, right? All right, so the sausage is pretty much done. You don't want to cook it really crispy because then you're going to have crunchy sausage, which isn't too bad, but that's not what we're going after. We want the flavor. All right. All right, once the sausage is all cooked and actually chopped down into small chunks, we're going to add our hash browns. Now, like I said, you want to keep this as frozen as you can. This is still in chunks, so we should be in good shape. Now, like I said before, you don't want to have too many coals underneath. Each recipe really calls for different stuff. I don't usually look at it that way, as far as, oh, you need 8 on the bottom and 14 on top. Yes, that works, and that works for a lot of people. It's just not my thing. But anyway, all right, so if you look here, we have hash browns, we also have sausage. What you want to do is actually come from the side, scoop underneath, and then lift up. Now, if you just sit there and stir it around, you're going to make a mush. We don't want to do that. Bring it to the side, and bring it up. So basically, you're kneading it, feeding, whatever you want to call it, and then you spread it out. All right? So once you have that, you're going to put your lid back on, and then you're going to let it sit, probably around 5 to 10 minutes. Now, you're going to be stirring it occasionally because you don't want it to stick. Now, if you have enough flavor from your sausage, it shouldn't stick. And when I say flavor, I mean grease. So, one thing about the Dutch oven that I've said it in other things, but I'll say it in this one as well, in case this is your first time. When you're actually using the Dutch oven, you want to spin it. You not only want to spin the base, but you want to spin the top. And the reason you do that is that because if you look here on top, like these coals here might be hotter than these over here. So what you want to do is just spin it. Like, you know, every couple minutes or so, spin it, spin it, spin it. And then also spin your Dutch oven, because underneath you get the same problem. And also, always try to find a hard surface to put your Dutch oven. And I've actually ran into this problem because over the time of actually cooking it, stirring it and stuff like that, it kept sinking, 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 sinking. And then it actually smothered all my coals underneath. So I have bricks right here. That's the main reason why I use the hot water tank tub, because it's nice and hard, it keeps it elevated, and it doesn't extinguish the coals underneath. So we're going to let this sit, and when you come back, we should be ready for the eggs. All right, come back in a minute. All right, so this thing's been cooking for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm doing it slow. You can put some more coals under there to actually get the temperature up hotter, but you have a risk of burning it. And then you get complaining, whiny scouts or kids. It says, I don't want to eat it, it's burnt. It's not burnt, it's crispy. And actually you can scrape the edges and make chips. It's actually pretty good. So let's take a look at what we have here to see if we're ready for the eggs. Ah, that's looking good. You can see here where we've been stirring it up, it's got a little bit of crisp on it. So we're gonna go scrape the bottom. Hopefully it's not burnt. There you go, you got more crisp. All right, so this particular stage is all preference. So if you really want this thing to be really crispy, let it ride. If you want it just to be kind of crispy but a little bit of mush, then you're ready for some eggs. Now I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and put some eggs in there because we are hungry. We're gonna have a little bit of mush, a little bit together, and a little bit of crisp all together. It's gonna be awesome. So like I said before, I got my little eggs here. We're gonna shake it up and make sure we have everything where it needs to be. All right, so this is 14 eggs. We're gonna do about half. And what you wanna do is just spread it all the way around because you want it to soak in to all the hash browns. It's a little bit more than half, but we're good, we're fine. So what it's gonna do is actually poof up, and then, oh man, I got my cap dirty. I put it upside down. I'm gonna clean that off. But anyway, so we're just gonna flatten everything down so we don't have too many peaks and crevices. And then we're gonna let that cook. Now, that's only gonna take about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's gonna be ready. So once that's actually fully cooked, then we're gonna throw some cheese on it, and then we're gonna take all the coals and put it on top, and then pretty much put it on a broil and be able to melt the cheese and actually crisp it up, and it's gonna be awesome. So check it out and wait a few minutes. All right, so it's been cooking for about 5 to 10 minutes or so. Let's take a look and see what we got. Now this should be puffy, poofy, and pulling up from around the edges. Let's see what we got. Oh, also one quick thing when you're doing a Dutch oven lid, it has the T-handle. If you actually hold it from this side here, you can tilt it up to actually keep it stable. if you go like this, it's not stable. It's going to rock back and forth. So you hold it by like this and actually rotate this way to keep it stable. There we go. Well, stay. All right, so it's mostly cooked. It's a little bit uncooked right there, but it's okay because we still have to put cheese on it. So let's put some cheese on it. How much do you ask? The whole thing. Of course you do. So just fill the whole top up with cheese. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is close that up. But now we're going to turn this thing into a broiler because we want to make that cheese nice and crispy. So we're going to take our Dutch oven and we're going to pull it off of all the coals on the bottom. Now, I'm going to take the coals carefully. I'm going to start a fire. Now I'm going to put it on top. Now, one thing you don't really have to worry about is, you know, the bottom is going to stay hot. This Dutch oven is cast iron, and the cast iron holds heat like nobody's business. So, anyway. So also, doing it like this will actually help you with cleaning, because then you just take the lid, take it over to the fire pit, dump it in, and you're all done. Well, at least with the coals anyway. So let's pick this guy back up. I want to put it back onto here because I don't want to mess up my bricks. There we go. All right, we're going to let this sit for about another 5 minutes, maybe 10. We'll see. Depends on how crunchy you really want your cheese. I like it crunchy. So I'm going to let it go, and then we're going to show you what it's like, or what it looks like when we're done. And then we're going to plate it, and then you're going to enjoy watching me eat it. Come back in a few minutes. All right, so we are pretty much done here. I'm just going to leave it on for a few more minutes because I want it to be that extra crispy. But I think what we're going to do is actually that crispy. So it is up to you. Make this your own. You know, this is just how we do it. Other people do it different ways. I strongly suggest go out there and watch their videos too. Put everything you like about all of them, put them together and make your own. And then when you do have your own, you have your own recipe, you have your own technique, put a video out there because we want to learn it. So let's see what she looks like with all that melted goodness. Wow. There you go. So you have egg, you have cheese, you have sausage, you have hash browns. Now, it's starting to brown up a little bit in a couple spots. So that is good to go. So what I'm going to do now is actually take this lid and actually dump all the hot coals into the fire pit because we want to dispose of them in the proper location. Just don't throw it out in the yard or throw it out in the woods because then you start a fire. Not cool, because I really want to go out there and go camping again. Weather's changing. Got to get out there. Anyway, so go ahead and stay tuned. Check out some of the other videos. We have a bunch of cooking stuff if you're into that. We have a bunch of scouting stuff. We got automotive. We have pretty much anything you really have out there. We pretty much have a little small taste of it. So check it out. Have fun. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will talk to you later. And happy eating. Smells so good. All right, so one thing you always really need to have is some hot sauce when you're out on the trail, right? So I doused it with some Chipotle hot sauce. It's going to be awesome. And you remember the tinfoil that I had down on the ground that had the coals sitting on top? If you ball it up when you're done with it, this can be your cleaning pad. You don't have to carry anything else. You put a little bit of water in there, use this with the tongs or whatever, use it with your hand, and it gets all the scrapes out of it. It actually works really well. Always reuse your stuff. Don't just use it once and throw it away. Anyway, check it out. Oh, look at it. Look, I got crispy hash browns. I have cheese and hot sauce and sausage. That's so good. Good luck. A+. Bring it on every camp out. The kids will love you for it. Then you only have one dish to clean up. Later.